No-hitting, the science of understanding, deconstructing bosses and reconstructing them into a pile of loot, all without taking a single heart of damage. But what if we took this a step further? What if we were to no-hit the entire playthrough and beat the game from start to finish with only 1 HP? No dodge accessories, no glitches, no revives. Any and all damage will instantaneously wipe us off the face of Terraria. This is my journey of how I beat Calamity Death Mode with only 1 HP.
What? This might not be fun.
Our journey begins in the exact same way as every single other. However, do not let that fool you. We are going to die many times. Whether it be to slimes, zombies, slimes, fawns, supreme calamitas, you get the idea. Also, did I mention fawns?
Don't spawn kill me, please. So you're telling me you didn't bind the dash...
Fortunately, there was a cave entrance right next to our base, so we went to try and get some new upgrades.
So I'm gonna have to not get hit for this entire cave expedition. I guess events are gonna be an absolute pain to do. Why? No! Oh, but you're kidding. I think that's enough to make armor.
By some miracle, we found enough tungsten to make ourselves a set of armor, which, looking back, is not going to help us in the slightest. Good news though, we found a merchant who we bought a piggy bank from, so we no longer lose all of our money every time we die. You know what they say, when you can't go over it, and you can't go under it, and you can't go through it, but you can't go under it, you go over it. You take a shit ton of rope and take to the skies. I looted the giant meatball for everything it had, even took the turrets as well, then commenced Operation Skybridge in the hopes of finding some floating islands. We made our way back up the rope and yeah, I'm having second thoughts about this challenge. Got to do it for the video though, and also watch the clutch of the decade.
Oh, no, you're kidding me. I was that close. Can I just some kind of water clutch? Oh, no!
Yeah, you're not seeing things, bro. I'm not kidding in the slightest. I don't know how that happened. That was just like, it was meant to be. Anyways, I switch out my tungsten armor with copper armor for the increased damage.
Yeah, it increases all damage by 2.
Then we return once more to the island which we narrowly missed a few seconds ago, and obtain the best thing we could have possibly asked for. Feeling ballsy with my epic new sword, I map out the left side of the world, finding a desert and my inevitable demise. While I hunt for some more floating islands, let me explain the rules of this challenge in more detail. I'm going to be following the normal no-hit rules here, which means that 1. We can't use dodge accessories, 2. Every boss has a minimum no-hit length, which essentially means that we can't completely nuke every boss we face. And 3, arguably the worst, we have to do every single boss in the intended order, meaning no progression skips. No pre-hard mode aquatic scourge, no pre-mech cow clone, no pre-providence poltergeist, whatever am I gonna do? With those key rules in mind, I hastily finished preparations for the first boss,
the 3rd Star Fury,
finding a cheeky cloud in a bottle, then pretending to be Mario on the skeleton. I craft the Sun Spirit Staff, the best summon weapon in the entire game. Oh, and I also found some Hermes boots after another like 20 deaths. With pretty much everything we can do at this point done, and reusing the sky bridge we used to find floating islands, we go in completely blind, all balls no brain style on King Slime. Let's get one thing clear, about a year ago I did attempt some no-hits on Expert Death Mode. I managed to get up to Old Duke, but I was just too bad at the game to do Devourer. I think a fun little thing we could do is compare our performance this year to last year. If you were internally screaming at me in the previous fight as to why I'm using the flare gun, simply put, I just thought it was funny. And I wanted to try some goofy strategies while the bosses are still fairly easy. Anyways, let's get to the actual fight. The setup we had going here was literally perfect. King Slime was so floaty with the gravity of outer space that running under him every time he jumped was an absolute breeze. We'd pretty much take him on a walk in one direction for the entire fight, chipping away at his health with the flare gun.
Okay, that's just annoying.
I made a second layer of platforms to give myself more freedom of movement, but I didn't realise that this would indirectly cheese the entire fight. In the Calamity Mod, slimes will jump in a cycle of 3, with 2 short jumps and 1 very long and high jump. The high jump is just tall enough to the point where slimes will get stuck on that second platform, meaning that we become essentially untouchable. All we had to do now was just slowly whittle down the health pool with our flare gun, but oh, what's this?
Okay.
We were faced with a dilemma here. At half of his HP, King Slime poops out a red crystal which shoots balls at you. This is fine enough normally, but we were using the flare gun, so we were forced to switch weapons.
Could use a Star Fury for the crystal, maybe. Nuke the thing. Did I just one-tap it? You're not telling me I just one-tapped that thing, no way.
With the crystal out of the picture now, it's safe to say we completely obliterated the rest of the fight. Although, I'll admit, King Slime did get pretty nimble towards the end.
There we go, we did it, okay. 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
With King Slime defeated, our very next objective is to take on the Desert Scourge, which I want to prepare for slightly more. How are we going to do that, you may ask? Let's just say we had to feed the fish.
Yes, we got the rod.
If you've played Calamity in the past century, you will know how utterly bonkers the Abyssal Amulet is in pre-hard mode.
See, look at that, Abyssal Amulet.
Essentially being a juiced up magma stone which works with every class and not just melee. Now with our weapon of choice, I build the Reg W quick platform arena and we commence onwards with the fight. Now Desert Scourge is always an easy boss as long as you have a couple platforms and a double jump. His burrow attack can be somewhat lethal to newcomers, but trust me, just don't freak out and you'll be fine. With our deadly combination of the flare gun and the Abyssal Amulet, we were completely shredding the Desert Scourge, who upon reaching half of his HP will summon in the appropriately named Desert Nuisances, who are much more agile than the Scourge itself, but still fairly easy to take down.
Oh, okay. Oh, what was that?
Trust me bro, I'm not bad at the game, okay? Please.
Wow, first try, we did it.
Let's just sweep that one under the rug, okay? Anyways, Eye of Cthulhu. Or not? I didn't bother making any upgrades for the eye, considering the flare gun was actually stupidly deviously good.
Second phase anytime soon. Oh, I forgot you shoot those guys now.
The Eye of Cthulhu is never usually anything special, even in death mode. The projectiles he shoots are very fun to dodge and actually an interesting addition to the fight, but all in all he's just the same old early game boss, you know. Still though, I think he's one of the better designed bosses in this mod.
And GG's. Third try, 2 minutes 19. Guarding Shield of Cthulhu. I don't need the shield.
The eye goes down without too much of a fight, and the next boss in progression is Crabulon. For Crabulon, I wanted to stick with the theme of using stupid items. Also a quick side tangent, because we only have 1 health, we can't actually summon in the Goblin army which is needed for the Goblin Tinkerer and a bunch of other stuff, so I quickly cheated in some life crystals and got more health. Then we summoned in the Goblin army. We perished a few times.
What even was that, an arrow?
But we got through it, so I took my health back down to 1 and we continued on with our journey.
There we go, that's the Goblin army.
So, for Crabulon, since we beat the Eye of Cthulhu, I wanted to go for an eyeball theme. Sounds pretty goofy, I know, right? But anyways, we already had the Shield of Cthulhu and more fortunately the Death Stare Rod from the Eye of Cthulhu, so now all we needed was the Bouncing Eyeball.
Oh, there's a Wandering Eye fish, okay.
The perfect weapon to complement our build. Also, you used to be able to get this thing from normal Blood Moon enemies, you never had to do Blood Moon fishing for it. Like seriously, what was the need for changing it? It was fine the way it was.
This might not be very easy.
You may be thinking to yourself, what do I mean by the Crabulon incident? Well, you will find out. You see, our 2 weapons here that we haven't even reforged yet, neither have we reforged our accessories, coupled with the fact that our arena is abysmal dog shit. Also, to be fair, I was feeling pretty tired on this day as well. All of those disadvantages, combined with an unrelenting will to beat this boss before I finished streaming, culminated into what we know now as the Crabulon incident.
Stay on the ground the whole time.
Crabulon is a fight that I will normally 90% of the time skip in every playthrough I do. His items are mid, the evil bosses are significantly easier than him, and he requires you to build an actual arena.
Oh, okay.
But after all, this is a no-hit run and we are following the no-hit terms and conditions. So I guess we're left with no other choice than to sit through this crabby bullet hell which is somehow harder than Escal's final phase. In my defense though, the gear I was using was absolutely tragic, so give me some credit.
Am I actually gonna first try this? Oh my days. Please tell me that's above the minimum length. 42 I feel like it's 45 seconds. Eat shit, Crabulon.
Man, was I so glad to finally be free from the shackles of this clammy mushroom. I don't even know, bro. Anyways, let's go first try the Eater of Worlds.
Wow, we got items, no way.
I made a corruption world as our main one is Crimson, then we constructed the Reg W quick platform arena. We bomb some balls and then run for our lives as the Eater of Worlds comes chasing directly after us like we owe it 20 platinum. Also peep this dodge. We make our way back up to the Reg W quick platform arena, from which the fight becomes run back and forth simulator, and occasionally dodge some balls. What is this game's obsession with balls? Disregarding that, the fight was going exceptionally buttery smooth. The worm does start firing cursed flames at you in his later phases, but if you play your cards right and use a higher platform, then you can dodge them fairly easily.
Oh, that was close.
As the Eater of Worlds gets lower on health, he will gain an ungodly amount of speed and start ramming you from every single direction. But as long as you've got your dash and your double jump, then you are golden.
See exactly what I said, huh? When I was fighting Crabulon, Eater of Worlds first try. See what I said? Crabulon's just fucked.
Couldn't have said it better myself, past me. Since we're playing by no-hit rules, we have to do every evil boss, so the next logical step for us would be the Brain of Cthulhu, except I got a little distracted, you know what I'm saying?
The intrusive thoughts, the call of the void.
What could possibly go wrong? The Perforators are never a hard boss, are they? Although I will admit they are a very fun fight and one of my favourite bosses in the mod. Anyways, we chuck some eyeballs at the hive until it poops out a worm. Then we chuck said eyeballs at the worm. Doesn't sound too bad, right? I mean, there are a grand total of 3 different worms you fight, but it's not much, honestly. The bouncing eyeball was actually surprising me in terms of its capabilities, like this thing was obliterating the worms. Not Depth Crusher levels of good, but still.
We can just kill the boss right now. I don't think we have to kill all the worms, there's no such thing, right?
Well, it doesn't say anything about taking down all 3 worms in these sacred no-hit documents, so I guess I'm in the clear.
See what I mean, bro? See what I mean? This shit is easy. 100 attempts on Crabulon. I haven't upgraded my gear since when I first tried to perforate. This mod is unbalanced as anything.
Okay, enough commentary on the political and economic state of Calamity bosses. Let's move on to the actual boss we intended to fight here, the Brain of Cthulhu.
Brain of Shig.
In the Calamity mod, some people hate the brain, some people love it. I think it's pretty great. It's a short but sweet fight, very intense but very fun and not too overly extreme. The fact that the creepers shoot stuff at you now just really enhances the intensity of the fight. It's amazing. And to the people who say,
but the brain can teleport on top of you.
he's never done that, bro. Are we on 1.5 by any chance? Are we doing malice mode over here? Okay, I'm sorry, I deserve that. And that too. Alright, let's look in. With all the creepers down, the brain opens up and shows his heart inside the brain. I don't know. I've played Terraria for nearly a decade, probably has been a decade at this point, and I never even bothered to question why the brain looks like that.
Like you go down there and then, oh, okay, that's... Alright.
I forgot to lock in there. Okay, this is the attempt. But now the brain is seriously ticked off at us, firing a ton of projectiles and ramming into us every opportunity it gets. This is gonna be a close one. Seriously, I don't know what Fapsor was smoking when he balanced these bosses. It's like the later ones are easier somehow. Anyways, now we've done both evil bosses, we can finally upgrade our gear and prepare for the hive mind, who I decided to challenge with a flare gun. Not the firestorm cannon, the flare gun. It's no exaggeration to say that his first phase took bloody ages to get through. Like, it wasn't hard in the slightest, but it was just mind-numbingly, painstakingly dull.
Alright, here we go.
Now that we're in the second phase, the fight is essentially free until he starts spawning minions again. It's kind of amusing just idly dodging all of his moves with zero effort. Anyways, now for the dreaded third phase I mentioned, where we die to full damage.
Where I have to take full damage.
I'm gonna be so real here, I'm not trying to sit for hours beating this boss with a flare gun.
Look at that, they're genuinely so annoying.
So after 10 whole attempts, I finally snapped and began using the Scourge of the Desert, which I'll admit actually exceeded my expectations. As long as you have a means of taking out the Dark Hearts or completely nullifying attacks, then the fight just becomes free.
Okay, they're gone. Sweet. Decent. No! I'm gonna take a poopy on my keyboard.
The mask was slipping, the facade slowly fading away. We could not keep this up for any longer. we had to upgrade our absolutely tragic gear for this tier into some even more abysmal gear. As you can probably tell, we went for a corruption theme with our loadout. Dripped out with shadow armor, 2 vile feeders, and a demon bow paired with unholy arrows. Truly the loadout of all time. Okay, in all fairness though, it was doing so much better than what we had before. There were no excuses for me to fail anymore, so I locked in like I'd never locked in before. Our vile feeders would completely melt the dark hearts, which, as I said earlier, results in a completely free fight.
Boom, boom.
So now with both evil bosses defeated, we can finally open their treasure bags and move on to the Queen Bee. There were most definitely some major upgrades we could have gotten beforehand, but I just wanted to see what we were dealing with here.
Okay, sure, let's start the fight now.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't think a demon bow is gonna do all that great.
Okay, I can't see this being too hard. Maybe the final phase with the things. And adrenaline. Let's go. Are you just gonna keep charging at me forever? This is easy. Oh, we're doing this now, okay.
Yeah, at a certain threshold of health, Queen Bee will begin performing this Stinger bullet hell attack, which is actually kind of hard.
These bees are gonna... If I run into one bee, it's over. I'm goated.
Okay, I'm still shocked as to how easy this fight actually was. Except I'm lying, we didn't first try it.
What even hit me? Oh, I'm blind.
We were gonna have a pretty rough time here.
Okay, thank you.
But after all, this is the story of how I beat Calamity with only 1 HP. To even consider giving up on Queen Bee after we've barely even scratched the surface of this run would be insane. Especially not when we have so many different upgrades available now. Namely, the all-powerful, the almighty, Tracking. If you aren't already aware, allow me to enlighten you. This weapon right here is my beautiful and loving wife, the flawless tracking disc, who just so happens to be one of the most busted and versatile pre-hard mode rogue weapons in all of existence. This thing will tear through Skeletron, Deerclops, the Wall of Flesh, and most importantly, Queen Bee.
So you want to go like up there for those ones in the top left. Again? Okay, I'd nuked you. And that's Queen Bee. Alright.
Now with this stupid dumb insect out of the way, we can finally move on to some more interesting and less forgettable bosses. But first, let me show you a funny little plan we cooked up while we was fighting the bee. That's right, you see the bee attire? You see the gang of hornets circling me? We are going bee mode on this bitch. Oh, forgot to mention, the bitch in question is Deerclops, who for some reason you have to do before Skeletron in a no-hit run. I'm not sure why, but I'm not gonna question it. Anyways, we spent a good 10 minutes dying to traps, eventually found some flinxes, and then we began the fight.
Now, let's do this. What could go wrong? That could go wrong.
Deerclops in Calamity is definitely something. The fight almost always begins with her spawning an entire marathon away from you, then almost completely blinding you while attempting to tickle you with shadow hands. The worst part about these hands is that they come out of seemingly nowhere. This is giving me Malice Mode Brain of Cthulhu flashbacks. Anyways, our silly maxing loadout that we came up with in about 5 seconds was somehow shredding Deerclops, although I completely forgot about these boulders. Okay, I think we need wings. It took about 5 deaths to get these, but let me tell you, the increase in movement capabilities was just unparalleled to anything else at this point. Also hands.
What? Okay, those hands.
With a slight bit of skill and mostly luck, we made it so close to the end of the fight. As much as this boss was low-key peeing me off, I knew that this was just a small hurdle in the grand scheme of things. If I can't do Deerclops, then how on the actual earth do you expect me to do Escal?
Okay, platforms.
Since Deerclops drops a whopping nothing for us, the best course of action for right now was to go and face Skeletron. I even prepared a half-decent arena for this too, because I knew we were gonna be here for a while.
Now the skulls. Oh, and you go really fast for no reason, don't you? Like, stupidly fast to the point where it's kind of hard to dodge. Oh, that was close. Now for this phase, which is the scariest, but it's so easy. Who need banana?
While Skeletron's first phase was absolutely nothing, the final phase was where my concern lied.
What?
More precisely, around the 20% health mark where he begins shooting out a circle of homing, very aggressively homing actually, skulls. Which combined with his other barrage of skulls he shoots and his incredibly fast dashes are a nightmare.
Oh my.
Like seriously, the fight was almost trivial until we got to this phase.
Okay, that was close. Easy.
Yeah, Skeletron was not in fact easy, especially not the final phase. But at least now we can move on to some better and more fun bosses. I go on a quick holiday to the Crimson, mine up some Crimstone blocks, which combined with some Blighted Gel lets us make the Overloaded Sludge, which in turn allows us to fight our next boss, the Slime God. Yes, there are many upgrades I could have gotten after taking down Skeletron. No, I didn't make any of them. Anyways, the Slime God, a boss which, as long as you have lining boots and a good pair of wings, is fairly easy. Sadly not first try easy, but still. In the first phase, the only things that can really take you out are when the slimes randomly teleport in front of you and their balls that they shoot out. Luckily for us though, we are cracked at the game, and somehow our Bee's Knees and Hornet Staff loadout was still absolutely shredding. Unfortunately, the Slime God had other plans, activating a secret defense mechanism, fleeing the scene.
But
When each of the big slimes get to around half HP, they'll split into two smaller slimes who are much more agile, fast, and will completely break your ankles if you're unprepared. The only real challenge I had here were the balls catching me off guard and the slime god himself ramming into me for no reason. But aside from all that jazz, it was a fairly simple, fast-paced, but fun fight.
2 minutes, that's well above a minute 20.
After this fight, I went to sleep for the night because I knew our next battle was not going to be fun. Chances are you know who I'm referring to and you felt the pain yourself, but if not, you will find out shortly. First of all, we obtain the ingredients to make the Terraspark boots from a totally not modded NPC. Then we upgrade our Voltaic Jelly into the Jelly Charge battery, however, I was unsure if we were still going to be using summons at this point. I somehow just about managed to make my way across to the Brimstone Crags without dying a single time. We plonk down some houses, make purchase of a Crags pylon, and then begin our first attempt on the Wall of Flesh. Maybe I'm just catastrophizing here, maybe I've gotten better at the game since I last tried no-hitting every boss, I don't know. All I do know is that there is a pretty tall wall between us and hard mode.
I may have messed up. I need to clear this area.
Yep, our funny B loadout just isn't gonna cut it anymore. We needed a more sophisticated build, so for that I started at the Abyss, which making our way into was probably harder than the wall himself. But within a few attempts we had successfully entered and I began hunting for the weapon I was after. A couple more attempts and eventually, the herring staff was in our possession. I also got the Terminus too. Just for the record, I am not no-hitting boss rush. With our new fancy doodads, we gave the Wall of Flesh yet another try with a combination of the B armor, herring staff and flawless tracking disc, which seemed like a good idea on paper but in reality wasn't doing nearly enough damage. Our goal here was to nuke the boss as fast as possible while just being barely above the minimum no-hit length so we didn't get disqualified, because I wanted to spend the least amount of time possible on this stupid, dumb boss. We could be doing this fight in 40 seconds, yet it was taking us 90, which kinda says something about our gear, so I looked at my old Wall of Flesh no-hit to gather some inspiration from it. In that run, we actually used the Turbulence instead of the tracking disc, so I swapped my weapon accordingly. Then we just about managed to survive long enough to get a Bewitching Table, which I'd somehow forgotten to obtain at this point. One other thing that was also different than my previous no-hit run was the fact that I was using Aerospec Summoner Armor instead of B armor. Seems kinda weird, I know, right, but it allowed us to beat the fight in only 52 seconds back then, so I'm not gonna question it one bit.
Close one. I'm dead.
One thing I remember from this fight a year ago is that I was raging so hard over it. Like, there was steam coming out of my ears, bro. I looked like a cartoon character. But these days, I like to think I'm not so much of a temperamental person, especially considering the fact that I was streaming this entire fight, so I could not let the mask slip. In all seriousness though, getting mad and punching my keyboard is going to do absolutely nothing in helping us win. I had to channel that rage and hatred into wiping this boss off the face of Terraria. No matter how many awkward to dodge lasers this goofy dude fires at me, I will find a way to dodge them. And if I could, I would throw them right back at him and shove him up his crusty. I've no-hit this boss once before. It's not like a second time's gonna be any harder. Definitely not harder than what I had to go through before.
This is the mother of clutches right here. That was pure luck. Honestly, no skill, just pure luck, but still we can move on.
Who even cares what that fight looked like? I beat it with 1 HP, I no-hit this boss, so we can finally move on. Now that our world was submerged into the chaos of hard mode, there were many things for us to do. In fact, I'd already thought of another stupid loadout idea we could try. All I had to do was blitz an entire population of spiders, and boom. You see this Black Hawk remote we have here? Well, wouldn't it be funny if we had an entire fleet of fighter jets outside, gunning down absolutely every enemy in sight? Now with the meat and potatoes of our new loadout complete, I wanted to go and partake in some of the more domestic chores of early hard mode. Trust me, grinding for Souls of Light is not fun when you've only got 1 HP. Now, you see our fleet of army jets ready to take down any enemy within firing distance of us. How about we go and get a strap for ourselves as well? And what better early hard mode gun to go for than the Thermocline Blaster, an upgrade to the Phoenix Blaster, which itself is an upgrade to the handgun, which requires us to delve into the dungeon in order to obtain it. But remember how I started this playthrough with 1 HP? There is no easy way to comprehend how genuinely treacherous the dungeon is to explore with only 1 HP. When you're playing the game with 400 health for so many years, you'll forget how easy it is to just take random hits. Such as flames where the sun don't shine, not maintaining social distancing with a fellow Angry Bones, and even more flashbacks to Malice Mode Brain of Cthulhu.
Okay, gun. Yes.
With the handgun in our possession now, we combine it with Hellstone Bars to make the Phoenix Blaster, die another 10 times farming essences of helium from snow enemies, and finally craft our weapon of choice, the Thermocline Blaster. With our loadout finally fully complete, we summon in the first hard mode boss, Queen Slime. Yes, under no-hit rules, you have to fight her first. Luckily for us, this is the Calamity version, so no minion spam, no projectiles all over the show. This is a fair fight. In fact, I think Queen Slime's one of the more fun and underappreciated bosses. She's actually a very well-designed bullet hell compared to other early hard mode bosses.
And second phase.
Queen Slime's second phase. Now this is where the fun really does begin. She somehow manifests a pair of wings, and while still maintaining her balls attack, she will now shoot out these crystal shards or whatever in a semicircular barrage at you every time she stomps on you. And I'm dead. Tell me why this loadout is actually kind of shredding Queen Slime. I didn't think it would be doing this good. It really is great when silly loadouts like this still have a chance to shine and perform almost as well as the actual meta ones. Also, I do apologize if the quality is pretty bad here. I can't control the weather. In fact, no, there is an NPC that lets me control the weather, but I was in the middle of the fight and this blizzard just started happening, so let's just roll with it. Anyways, I'm dead, so GG's.
Can we just not do a blizzard?
I also at this point figured that fledgling wings which you can obtain at the very beginning of the game were not going to cut it anymore. So I got into a tussle with this wyvern, emerged victorious, then went and wiped out an entire population of pixies. Man, why is the Terrarian so evil? Anyways, with the pixie dust obtained from slaughtering all those pixies and the souls of flight we salvaged from that wyvern we took down, we craft the best pre-mech wings, the fairy wings, which hopefully with our increased mobility now we'll be able to take down Queen Slime no sweat. In her final phase, she shoots out even more crystal shards when she stomps. But we were just too powerful now, they were nothing to us. The literal storm of Ichor bullets we were firing at her just proved too powerful. And with that, we take her down and obtain our loot, which consists of Party Girl bathwater and a fleeting sense of accomplishment. Now it was at this point that we'd reached a kind of stalemate here. We were already very well off for gear and Queen Slime gives us no further upgrades. The twins were kicking our shiny metal buttocks, and so was the Destroyer.
Oh man.
Also, did I mention the twins were giving us a hard time? Prime, for reasons that you'll find out soon enough, was obviously out the question. Brimstone Elemental requires 1 mech to be killed, so our only real options here were Cryogen and Aquatic Scourge, of which we chose Cryogen. A boss that after many years of playing this mod, I'm very familiar with. But no matter how skilled or experienced I was, it just wasn't my day today. As much as I wanted to shove this boss in an air fryer on 200 for 12 minutes, it just wasn't happening. You know what they say though, third time's the charm. I may not be warmed up to this fight yet, but soon enough I will be. This time though, even with our subpar DPS, we had somehow made it to the derp phase where the fight gets pretty difficult. Well, at least that's what you might think. The first half of the derp phase is incredibly easy, literally just juking him and dashing around him. The second half of the derp phase is not something to be underestimated though, especially not if the boss catches you in a bad spot like this. I thought to myself, why not fix my skill issue by applying a flat damage and crit chance bonus to ourselves so we can beat the bosses quicker, or in other words, rage and wrath potions. Also summoning potions, because I forgot to get them. Feeling pretty goated off this supplement stack we just took, I attempted the boss once more, this time actually delving a decent way into the final phase, where Cryogen will dash at you in bursts of 3 with a short break between each one, summoning homing projectiles as he travels.
I'm shig.
Looking for something new, something different, I went to the Astral Infection to farm some Stardust, with which we make the Lunac Eye, a classless weapon that homes into enemies and reduces their damage reduction significantly, which when used in conjunction with summoned weapons is the perfect support weapon, pretty much just a longer range version of whips. While our DPS didn't change dramatically, we now had the peace of mind of not having to aim our weapons, which led to us dodging much more effectively, which meant that we didn't get hit.
That was insane. 2 minutes and 45 seconds, that's so far above the length.
After only 7 attempts, we had finally beat Cryogen and gained our first real hard mode victory. Feeling kind of ballsy, I attempt the twins. No. Yep, never mind, we're doing Aquatic Scourge. I am sure you've probably stumbled across some videos of people beating Aquatic Scourge in pre-hard mode. That should tell you enough about the difficulty of this boss. As much as I do love the boss as a concept, I just wish they made it slightly harder, the projectiles a little bit denser, you know? This fight's like getting hit with a damp tea towel compared to the heavy metal chain of the mechs. Anyways, in this fight we made use of one of Cryogen's drops, the Hoarfrost Bow, which converts wooden arrows into frost arrows, leaving a lingering projectile behind that just rips through the worm segments.
I was distracted talking about GH, rapping while I'm crap.
Like seriously, look how satisfying this bow is to use.
Freestyling, fighting the Aquatic Scourge, I'm wilding. I'm gonna die, but I'm styling. And first try.
The first try wizard makes his triumphant return after Eater of Worlds and Perforators. He strikes when you least expect it, perhaps he could even first try the very next boss. Anyways, in comparison to the Scourge's difficulty, it actually has some very fire drops. Namely the Deep Sea Staff, which I didn't get on the first treasure bag, so I had to buy some more treasure bags from a totally not modded NPC. A very versatile and reliable summon weapon, which should also be the perfect option for the twins. I also use the Scourge of the Seas as well, the rogue weapon drop. On a completely unrelated note, it's a brand new day and I kind of lost my voice, so if this sounds a bit different, sorry about that. Anyways, with no other options ahead of us other than facing the twins, we have to take this fight very seriously now. The majority of this fight consists of running in one direction and just flying up and down, very amusing and entertaining, I know. There is some semblance of skill required when passing through Retinazer's lasers, but other than that, it is just completely mindless. Once you get each one to a certain threshold of health, they will begin their final phase, of which Spasmatisms is by far the easiest. As I said, Spasmatisms is by far the easiest final phase. Essentially, he will spawn a ton of projectiles and then begin constantly dashing at you, which can be easily dodged by dashing yourself. The only issue I had here was that my summons would rarely hit the boss, resulting in a final phase that took longer than the fight itself somehow.
Okay, I'll use this weapon then. Well, there we go, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Oh my.
Well, that was a long ass fight, but I'm glad we can finally say it's over now. Anyways, if you're an avid viewer of this channel, you know exactly what is coming next. We mined just enough mithril for a new pickaxe, dying multiple times in the process. Then we take a good old trip to the Brimstone Crags, where we can finally mine Infernal Swavite. We combine that with Hailstone ore to make Unholy Cores, then with those we can make the Charred Relic. My fellas, you know exactly what we're about to do. It is Brimmy time.
Man, this boss is such a short but sweet break from the pure chaos of the mechs. She doesn't really drop anything for us, but in my opinion, the fight is the reward itself. Once again, the major variation in difficulty between each boss. Now, for Brimmy's one somewhat hard attack, which she does when she reaches half of her health, the Death Laser.
I'm a dumb ass.
Yeah, look, I don't want to talk about it, okay? It just caught me off guard. Anyways, before we knew it, we'd have to take down this boss, and our short break from reality would come to an end.
Die standing, then live kneeling. Yeah, we're fine. We did it, okay.
Not even sure what I was waffling about there, but I decided to spend some time gearing up before the new mech bosses. We only had the Destroyer and Prime left for us, which we could do in any order we please. Now, I shall present to you the goofy loadout compilation of all time, starting off strong with the Eyeballs 2.0. Blood really thought the optic staff is good in Calamity. And if that didn't work on a Destroyer, then how in Drayden's left ear do you expect this to work on Prime? Next up, we had the OG 1.1 Mage loadout with the Magical Harp. A weapon that would have been absolutely top tier back in the day, but nowadays is outclassed by pretty much anything you can get your hands on. I'll admit, we put up a pretty good fight with it though. Following that, we used, whatever this is. Yep. Next. Oh, now we're talking. A throwback to the Stealth Strikes only run, which Yardis copied off me. Yeah, I'll just copy one of his videos, then we'll be even. Anyways, for this we used the Scourge of the Seas, which, believe it or not, was actually shredding the Destroyer. However, the probes were the main issue at hand here. With our absolutely abysmal attack rate and lack of passive damage from summons, there was no reliable way to take these guys out. I tried the Wave Skipper too, but...
Okay, that was close. Thank you.
With my hopes and aspirations of beating this challenge slowly dwindling and fading away into nothingness, I began to ponder, would I really have to resort to this? I didn't want it to come down to this, but I guess this is the only way through. You can probably figure out the build we're using, but I kinda don't want to spoil it. Okay, a Sentry Hybrid. Yes, we were going in that direction. You know a boss is tough as nails when you have to bring out the old one's army gear just to take it down. Gotta do what has to be done though, am I right?
Okay, and final wave, let's go. He's all good air. No, please. Wow, you're so easy. Oh, you get like 20 defender medals? That's insane. Getting the monk armor.
The build I'm going for now is the exact same build I used a year ago for Prime. I'd use the Monk armor set combined with the Storm Saber and the most underrated sentry in the game, the Orthosira Shell. However, our triumphant victory was not exactly going to be easy. I kid you not, we went through nearly 3 entire acid rains to get this thing, but boy let me tell you, once we made use of this thing, it was worth every single minute.
And we got it. So pretty much you just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just watch the DPS fly upwards. This is why I wanted this thing. My plan has now finally come to fruition.
While Prime is still going to be far from trivial, we have just made this fight a lot easier. And also, we are definitely doing Prime first, as there is a weapon you can make with Souls of Fright that is very good for the Destroyer. Now, I present to you my strategy for Prime. You completely forgot the homing skulls, and then fly up as fast as you can to dodge the laser circles. Sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it does, and that's what's truly important. I found that there was a certain speed you had to hit when flying upwards as well. Fast enough to dodge the skulls, but slow enough to not get clipped by a laser. It's kind of finicky to pull off, but made dodging these lasers a lot more consistent. However, there was one thing I did not consider. These homing, shigging rockets. Yeah, if this complete onslaught of skulls and lasers isn't enough for you, take 500 rockets up your... It's okay guys, we'll find a way. The only way forwards is through.
What the Oh, what?
You can fail hundreds of times, but as long as you never give up in your lifetime, victory is guaranteed. Okay bro, I don't know why I'm going on this whole stupid monologue about victory is yours if you never give up. I spent like 200 attempts on Infernum Slime God. This is literally nothing. This is like a drop of water in the ocean. Anyways though, cool montage time.
Easy. That was easy.
We had officially claimed victory over Prime. Now the only mech that stands in our way is a Destroyer. Just one more mech before we can move on to the fun bosses. Before facing the destroyer, however, I crafted myself an adamantite pickaxe and mined some cryonic ore, which I then crafted into the dark light greatsword, a weapon that's up there with the likes of the tracking disc. Now it's finally time to begin our battle with the destroyer.
Witness the power of this dark light greatsword. It hits... It's only one projectile, but it hits the enemies like 12 times for some reason. It's just stupidly OP. Okay.
Remember how I mentioned that weapon you can craft with Souls of Fright that is stupidly good against a destroyer? Well, if you guess the mounted scanner, then ding ding ding, you are tonight's winner. And you get the badge of honor. This thing, hold on a minute, gotta charge my AirPods real quick. This weapon is brilliant for taking out the probes. It will deal great damage to them even without a summoner loadout and will knock them back far enough to keep you out of harm's way. But while my weapons are perfect, I still need to work on my skill. And by skill, I mean replace my poopy evasion scarf with the ornate shield. The only wall in front of us now is the amount of attempts it's going to take to beat this worm.
Okay, adrenaline, let's go. Holy damage. I think once we get to like the final half of his health, which we're on right now, this should be easier, because then there's less probes. If we do this on this attempt, that'll be insane. We've got this. And you're done. There's no way Rod out the way. There's no way we don't win. Oh, you shigging dig. And we've done it. GG's. And I failed.
Finally, yes, finally, we had taken down every single last one of this trio of mechanical monstrosity people. We only have clear skies ahead of us now. This storm of nuts and bolts has finally come to a close. And what better way to celebrate than to immediately try the next boss, who is going to be so much easier than the mechs.
Dashing at me straight away. Oh, okay. You might kill her too quickly. This damage.
The cow clone. This cow being the type of cow that goes moo.
Now for the only hard part of this fight, which is this, and especially the second bullet hell. That's definitely going to be kind of a challenge, but we move.
Yeah, okay, let's just forget that ever happened. After the first bullet hell, Calclone will go from the first phase to the first phase and do absolutely nothing interesting. That is at least till she hits a certain health threshold where she will spawn these two nutters, Catastrophe and Cataclysm.
Howdy, fella. Yeah, I might have to use adrenaline on this, not gonna lie.
These two will fire tons of projectiles at you and dash at you very quickly, requiring some tight maneuvering to get around them.
Okay. No! And shred.
One brother shigged and one more to go.
What am I? You are done. You are dead. Yeah, there we go. And now you're in like slightly harder mode.
Yeah, now with the brothers taken care of, Calclone enters the actual second phase.
Oh, and you do things. Oh no. Whatever will I do? The only thing that could possibly stop me now is that second bullet hell. Not gonna lie, I thought my Crimson Heart was a projectile when I got scared. Here we go. Just pray.
Well, that was pretty close, I guess.
Fuck. Oh! Fuck.
Yeah, I know I can't be complaining one bit considering what we went through with the mechs, but I was getting pretty fed up. We needed a change of perspective, a change of gear perhaps.
Let's up the ante a little bit. Alright, bad idea. Oh! Oh, hitbox is open and ready to receive these projectiles. Oh, you're not ending this for me. Nope. Nope!
In your vanilla playthroughs, you may have crafted and used the Frost Armor at one point, a mixed class set for ranged and melee. But have you ever seen anyone use it in Calamity? I don't think so. That's why I'm going to use it. Also, fun fact, his set bonus is actually buffed in Calamity too, granting up to a 15% range to melee damage increase. With melee damage increase the closer you are to the target and the range damage increase the further you are from the target.
That is a cool effect.
You are totally right past me, I agree. Oh, and also I upgraded the Terraspark boots into the Angel Treads and crafted the Frost wings to go with the Frost armor. For the other two empty accessory slots, I figured that a Moonstone would be good since we're always fighting the boss at nighttime, and a Mechanical Glove as well since we're only using melee melee weapons. I did want to use ranged weapons, but all the weapons in this tier are just too underpowered. I also realized that the bat wings would be superior to the frost wings, so good thing we're doing a solar eclipse. However, it took like 50 deaths and 7 moonstones just to get these broken bat wings.
Oh wait, okay, never mind. No crash out, I actually got it.
I slapped all of these onto my character along with the mechanical glove so I can cosplay Edward Elric.
There we go, I can be Edward Elric.
And with our new juicy setup, we begin the fight once more.
That's better, but it's hard to aim. Who are you calling a child? Cow. Clone. Oh, close one. Take the shig! Please! Okay. And we win.
Or do we? You'll find out in a second.
It's free, it's a free fight, let's go. GG's.
We had done it, we had taken down Cow Clone. Well, it's not really much of an achievement, but let's move on to Plantera. Before that though, I wanted to try out a weapon that Cow Clone drops, which we didn't get from the first treasure bag, or the second.
Give me gun. Fiddlesticks.
For now though, I crafted the Brimlash with the Ashes of Calamity that Cow Clone drops, then used it to extort some money from some easy pre-hard mode bosses. And after the third treasure bag, we finally got the weapon we was after, the Animosity. A weapon with 2 different firing modes, the first being a moderately fast shotgun blast and the second being a sniper rifle, both imbued with brimstone flames. Sounds pretty average on paper, but no, this thing was something else.
This is good, considering I have a melee accessory on.
We were hitting upwards of 1500 DPS, peaking at over 2000 sometimes when I could actually hit my shots, which is insane with a pre-Plantera loadout, and a melee focused one at that. I decided I'd replace the mechanical glove with the Abaddon, an accessory dropped by Red Devils, and I also thought it'd be funny to call my friend John, the guy who was in my I forced my friend to play Terraria videos.
Okay, please don't be loud. That's loud.
I'm still streaming. Hello.
You're streaming, guess who else is streaming? Give us a shig for the stream. I need a loud one. I've got you right up to the mic.
Alright, let me just...
Let's open it.
The shig!
Yes!
Me and him had a jolly chat for a few minutes until I got the accessory I was after. I threw on the Abaddon over the mechanical glove and also replaced the Moonstone with the Void of Calamity. Then we set off on our treacherous expedition to conquer the jungle and build a teleporter set up to the Vernal Pass.
You're kidding, I forgot one vine and it's all over.
This will come as absolutely no surprise to you, but I died many times.
What killed me?
Eventually we made it though, and I kind of just said all balls no brain.
In fact, you know what? First try, screw it. Why not? We've got this. Plantera is not a hard boss. Probably marginally harder than Cow Clone. And we've got some insane weapons on us.
Arena? What do you mean? What even is that?
And now we shred. The health go down.
Okay, no, I seriously cannot glaze the Animosity enough. This thing is just so good.
Second phase when?
Okay, second phase on the first try, that is kind of insane. Perhaps the first try wizard will make his triumphant return.
Okay, now I have to be on my tippy toes. Here we go. You're gonna dash at me? Dash, okay, there you go. Come on, come close. Come closer. Come closer. My shig is beating like so fast. Oh, no. Come on, come on.
Plantera goes absolutely sicko mode, ramping up her speed, aggression, and damage reduction too, by the way.
Please! You're so low. You're so low. If I do this, if I actually do this. Oh, not the tentacles, no. Oh, come on. 700 health, man. No! Yes! Okay. First try.
He's only gone and done it again. When nobody could have possibly expected it, the first try wizard strikes once more. We open up our treasure bag and obtain living shards, which can be used to make things such as the Terrorblade, Vernal Bolter, but we're making absolutely none of them today. Our plan here was to completely speedrun into Aureus, but one thing I did want to make actually was the Asgard's Valor for that longer ram dash.
Not three, just one. Yeah. No. Why?
Getting the ectoplasm we needed for the Asgard's Valor costed many deaths. Luckily though, I did manage to throw down a teleporter setup.
What kills me?
Anyways, I speedran making the ingredients for the Ant Shield. That's another like 20 deaths onto the counter. I honestly wonder how people do 1 HP hardcore.
Now we are basically ready for Aureus, but no wait, no, we could get the wings, the bat wings. Okay, I think this is probably all we need. And now we're definitely ready. First try.
All balls, no brain, no preparation, barely an arena, and no upgrades since, like, Cal Clone. Yeah, not gonna lie, I think we've got this. Our morale was higher than a kite after that Plantera fight.
Any more jumpy jumps? Yep, another phase, okay.
I've kind of had a character arc with Aureus. Aureus used to be the boss that I hated, the one that I would go out of my way to skip, but now I love every second of this fight. I'm gonna be so real, I never even use any of his drops. The fight is just the reward itself.
Oh, you're jumping. Okay, I didn't know. Oh, you're not? Okay. Oh, hello. Yeah, this is easier to use. I'm gonna use this. But if I have adrenaline, I guess I'll use the funny sniper, you know?
In retrospect, I think this had to be one of the highest points in this run. We'd just broken free of the shackles of the worst trio of bosses in this game. Only clear, beautiful skies were ahead of us now, and we just first tried Plantera. Could it get any better than that?
Yep, you're jumping. You're jumping.
Adrenaline charge after adrenaline charge. It was just meant to be.
You're in your phase where you like perma-jump soon. Here we go. Here you go, boy. There you go. Oh. Ooh. Oh, no.
Okay, wait, hold on. There's no way we actually first try this dude immediately after Plantera. Something has to hit us at the last second. Something. Anything.
First try. First try. Let's go.
The first try wizard works in mysterious ways. He's only just gone and done it again, 2 times in a row now. Some things really are just too good to be false.
Double the length when I'm first trying these things.
Since we already had a streak of 2 bosses, I tried to push our luck even further. And yes, I did use Heroes Mod to spawn in the Siren Lure. I am not waiting 2 minutes before each fight to get this thing to spawn, okay?
Big Leviathan boy. There we go.
I think the pure confidence, hype, aura, and testosterone running through my veins right now could have killed at least 20 Leviathans, but let's at least make this a fair fight.
Oh, you're here? Okay, who do I focus on first? I'm probably gonna take you out, Anahita. Leviathan can... Big fat chunk can do his thing, but you are actually kind of dangerous. No balls, mister. Okay, adrenaline. Oh, you're dashing now. No, please! Come closer. I have a feeling he's gonna shoot his balls.
This right here is what is known as a generational run, aka the most locked in flow state of the century. Everything just seems to fall into place completely effortlessly.
Oh, close one. Oh, okay, and now he means business. We have to be careful. Lock in. I need to get back into the ocean. He's gonna get mad. He's gonna get mad. Run. Any more from you? Oh, another dash. Okay. No! Oh! The jump scare.
Sadly, all good things in life must eventually come to a close. But don't be sad that they're gone now. They will be forever immortalized within your memories. Be happy that they happened to you.
Okay, that was close. Whoa. Big ball up. Oh.
After all of those catastrophic failures, I think it was safe to say that we finally needed to upgrade our gear. I started by attempting to make my way into the dungeon. Yeah, screw this, not today. I was originally going to farm ectoplasm for Cause of Calamity to make the Deadshot Brooch, but you know, sunk cost fallacy, I just want to do the boss instead. I did craft some Dryad's Tears though, which are essentially just Terror Bullets. They are pretty cool actually, they're like an upgraded version of Crystal Bullets. But will they allow me to beat this supposedly easy boss?
What?
Okay, fine, I guess I'll go make the Deadshot Brooch. Even if I die hundreds of times, I guess at the end of the day it has to be done. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, these Dryad's Tears are really good at lighting up dark places. Anyways, it didn't take us too long to get the ectoplasm we needed, so we finally craft the Deadshot Brooch. Then we get back to fighting Leviathan and Anahita once more.
Oh, why?
I knew the fight inside and out at this point, but the only reason I was failing was due to stupid mistakes.
Yeah, so you dash at me, I'll finish you off with adrenaline. And everything, it'll just be a nice happy ending, you know? and then dash again. Then I need to run because you're gonna keep dashing. Okay, now it's balls time. Okay, and then dash time, and then run time. And dash time again, and then dash time again. Yep, and then dash time again, or is it balls time? Nope, you're feeling like throwing some balls. Nope, you're dashing. Okay, and you're dead. Okay. 11 attempts. I'm gonna do Golem.
As much as I'm salty that I didn't get this on the first attempt, I'm not complaining in the slightest because this was a fun fight. Anyways, living by the quote, all balls no brain, we make our way directly into the jungle temple and face Golem immediately before doing anything.
Wow. And Golem, first try.
Golem was a boss I was definitely scared of considering how it went last year. But we've thank you Mimic, now we need to make the old power cell. But as I was saying, we've grown and matured since then, and most importantly gained more skill at the game, so hopefully this will go a lot smoother. Before attempting this boss for real, I took a trip to the Astral Infection to get the Hive Pod Sentry, a weapon that is absolutely incredible against mostly static and enclosed bosses, such as Golem. Now Golem's first phase is nothing too special, as long as you stay up high where his fists can't reach you and dodge the very fast orange flame balls, and you should be fine. Once his fists are gone though, however, is when he grows a pair of legs and starts jumping real high up to your level. And he'll also begin shooting a lot more lasers and fireballs, but you can literally circle him in this phase. Also, it was these fireballs that used to be the literal bane of my existence back last year. I, for whatever reason, was terrible at dodging them and hated them so much. I don't know what it was, maybe because they were slow and had no like telegraphs on them. Anyways, I'm dead. And upon seeing that we were 5 whole seconds above the minimum no hit length when we hadn't even gotten into the final phase yet, that's when I decided we needed to upgrade our weapon. Leviathan actually drops a pretty good gun, so I bought some treasure bags from a totally not modded NPC.
Game would be so kind as to give it to us. Yep, there we go.
The Leviathan.
Wait, actually, this is amazing. Hold on. I saw 2000 DPS when I was hitting my shots.
While it's essentially just an upgraded Mega Shark, I am a sucker for guns in Terraria, so I love this thing to bits. And the part that's actually important, this weapon dealt a lot more damage than the Animosity.
Oh man.
After about 10 more deaths though, I made the decision to mine up a ton of chlorophyte, make a full stack of chlorophyte bullets, and also replace my plantation stop with the gastric belcher staff. Then we enter the temple once more, hoping with each attempt that this will be the last time.
It's now your big jumpy jumps mode, okay.
Once Golem's body gets low enough on health, he will go into his final phase, his head will fly off and begin shooting lasers at you. Combined with the body shooting lasers at you as well, and the huge amount of bouncing fireballs, this final phase is insane. And to top it all off, when the body gets low enough, the head will begin shooting lingering explosions. If you've watched my Double Bosses series, you'll know how much I hate these.
We did it! Yes! Oh, pig! Let's go.
With Golem finally defeated, we can now choose between 4 different bosses to fight next. And out of Plaguebringer, Fishron, Empress of Light and Ravager, I go for Fishron because I want the Fishron wings. And I also follow the same trend here of making absolutely 0 preparations for the next boss, because all balls no brain, am I right?
What could go wrong? That could go wrong. Or maybe I can use different bullets aside from chlorophyte ones.
Eventually, we get Picdisron to his second phase, where he is literally exactly the same in vanilla, except he is slightly faster. Yeah, this is when I decided, let's go take a fat see you later Fishron and upgrade our gear. First things first, I went to go explore the now plague-infested jungle to get some plague cell canisters. Yeah, that's what they are.
Oh, I'm cooked. There's too many of them.
Of course, with these, you can make the Abomination and Alchemical Flask, but what I wanted were bubonic rounds. Exceptionally high damaging bullets that ignore 10% of enemies' defense and spread the plague on hits. Now that is the badge of honor if I do say so myself. Also, we somehow lost our bewitching table, so I went to the dungeon to find another one. It took us quite a few deaths, but we found it eventually and also discovered the library along the way.
Chat, did we do pre-Moonlord Poltergeist?
While we were at it, I decided I guess we'd go make a new armor set as well, so we farmed up some more Plague Cell canisters for the Plague Reaper armor.
Immunity to the Plague? That's so useful.
It's a half-decent ranged armor set that synergizes really well with the bubonic rounds we just made, and also looks freaking badass. Anyways, now it's time to completely shred Fishron with our new loadout. Not having homing bullets anymore was kind of sad, but we were dealing exceptionally more damage, so who cares?
Third phase when? Oh,
Okay, yeah, maybe even with good bullets, the pre-golem gun just isn't going to cut it. There is, however, one trusty gun that never fails us no matter what, but we need to mine some scoria ore to craft it. The Hellstorm. While it did dish out a decent bit more damage than the Leviathan, it just still wasn't enough.
You're kidding.
Maybe, hopefully, Plaguebringer's gotten easier since I last fought her.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, I forgot the rhythm of your stinger attack. You do like a couple fast ones and the slow ones, right? Here we go. I'm doing no damage.
Yeah, I'm starting to think ranged might not be the best for us at the moment, but I can't let one singular attempt be the deciding one. Let's try once more.
Lag spike.
While the big mechanical bee herself is fairly easy to fight, the minions she summons are incredibly deadly. If you don't take them out pretty much immediately after she summons them, you're screwed.
Give me a good cycle, please. Okay, not bad. And you're gonna do the thing right. I'm still blind. I can't see. No.
Now that the Plaguebringer's in her second phase, she shoots stingers much faster than before, summons so many more minions, and charges at you like a fucking I don't even know, bro.
No.
And judging from our DPS, it's safe to say we needed to whip out the loadout we had used last year. For that though, we'd have to do a good old switcheroo to melee, which involves mining an ass ton of chlorophyte, crafting the turtle armor, realizing the turtle armor in Calamity doesn't upgrade to the beetle armor, uncrafting the turtle armor, crafting the chlorophyte armor, and finally crafting the beetle armor. I replaced the Deadshot Brooch with the fire gauntlet, and then we were good to go.
Okay, you know what, this thing's actually decent.
Okay, fine, I'll make some weapons too. Shake, even more chlorophytes mining, another death, and a Terrorblade. But I'm not done just yet. I wanted the Flying Dragon as well, as I used that last year on Duke Fishron. It's needless to say that the first 6 tiers of the Old One's army were a complete cakewalk, but then I realised we'd have to no-hit Betsy.
This fight, oh god. GG's. They've attacked me, not the crystal. Oh, okay, whoa. Please tell me I can buy a treasure bag after this. I'm not farming the entire event over again just to get a sword that has a pretty high and reasonable drop chance, but doesn't drop due to bad luck.
Somehow we managed to beat Betsy with only one death. We obtain our treasure bag, and lo and behold.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, it just gives you all of them. Sweet.
Now we can finally start rushing the bosses again. It feels so good to be back.
Close one.
And soon enough, we get Duke Fishron to his third phase, which is once again exactly the same as vanilla, but this time, after a certain health threshold, he starts dashing at you forever.
What? Okay.
If we can all just forget that ever happened, Duke Fishron's final phase is very easy. It's just slow dash slob, and if you've ever played Infernum, you will be very accustomed to dash slob.
Come on, you have to be dead soon. Anytime. There we go, okay. 45 seconds over the minimum Nohit length.
Now with Fishron finally taken out, we can get our glorious new pair of wings and the best weapon in the game.
The best weapon and the wings, nice.
And move on forwards to the actually hard post-golem bosses. Guess which one we'll be fighting next? In fact, no, you see where I am, you've seen what's in my hotbar, you know exactly which boss we're fighting next. Empress of Light, and no, I'm not doing daytime because I'm a... You may be asking to yourself, and there was also plenty of people asking this in my stream chat when I was streaming, why not do daytime Empress of Light? It's no different from nighttime. Well, Calamity does actually rework daytime Empress, and one of the main things it does is add reactive damage reduction, meaning no matter what weapon you use, the fight will take like 3-something minutes. Which is brutal enough on its own, and that's not even to mention the harder attacks, reduced attack cooldown, and whatever else it adds, I don't even know.
Second phase already?
Don't worry though, when I get to Empress of Light in my Infernum 1 HP live streams, which I'll probably be at Empress by the time I upload this video, I will 100% do daytime Empress.
You do that, and you do that, and I just run away. Oh, these ones. What? I didn't see those ones.
Yeah, looking back, nighttime Empress isn't actually too hard.
That was awfully close. Wait, you're nearly dead? What? Oh, come on, it's not gonna be that easy, is it? You're... oh, foo. I thought you was handing the win to me on a silver platter.
Look at you. You thought it would be a satisfying conclusion where we beat the boss on the beat drop of the song, but no. It's whatever though, Empress is just a small bump in the road for us.
What the fuck, you absolute shig? She's nearly dead. Okay, fine, I'll use it. I'll use it, see? And... Oh, okay. Oh, what do you know? We did it. We did it. We did it.
This is why the Flareon is the best weapon in the game. We were doing so much damage, we nearly went below the Empress of Light's minimum no-hit length. But she doesn't really drop anything, she's more of a filler boss. And it's finally time for me to show you my secret loadout for the Plaguebringer Goliath. Yep, it's literally just sentries again. Let me tell you something, my shigs, if you ain't seen the Hive Pod, you ain't seen nothing. This thing is the most busted weapon at its point in progression in the entire game. Now the main reason I'm making use of this is not just for the immaculate single target damage, but for its capabilities of taking out the minions like no other weapon can.
I'm a dumbass.
Combined with the Terrorblade, these things will instantly evaporate any minions on sight before they even have a chance to attack you. It's just so good. It's amazing. Although the one thing these sentries can't fix is your terrible dodging. We were very consistently making it to the second phase in each fight now.
Oh, okay, wait, I need to chill out. We're shredding her.
The only real issue we have here now is this attack, but it's fairly easily dodged. You just go up and through and up and through. It's occasionally teleport. It's fine.
Why?
At least until you forget to dash.
No, why?
There is also the issue of her stingers catching you off guard, but as long as you learn the pattern to them, they're very easy to dodge and run through.
No, not the stingers, not the stingers, no! Kills. Stingers, no. Run. No. Just don't look at the health bar, don't look at the health bar, just look at the attacks and dodge them. The attacks. And it's as easy as that. That's above 1 minute. GG's.
As much as Plaguebringer can be annoying and somewhat unfair at times, she is still one of my favourite bosses in the entire mod. Like, just look at her design and tell me it isn't the coolest shit you've ever seen. Anyways, with the Plaguebringer taken out, that means we only have one more boss left before the Cultist, which is... the Ravager. If you want to disappoint an entire room of Calamity Mod fans, just say that one word, that one name. I am aware that hopefully the Ravager will be reworked and moved to Post-Providence, but for the time being, it just sucks.
Whoa, hey, okay.
The fight isn't fun, the loot is below mid, its only saving grace is that it drops geodes, which is good for low percent runs.
I am f***ed off. What?
Ravager is just the kind of boss that nobody wants to stick around on for too long. You just want to get him out of the way and move on to the bigger and better things. And luckily for us, his second phase is completely free if you just run in a straight line, so that's very comforting to know.
Let's make sure I'm doing the minimum no-hit length, so we should be fine. Da 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 on the phones. Da 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 da. Oh, it's not that part. Da 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 da. We did it. Let's chicken go.
Yeah, I'm just as happy as you guys are to finally move on from this boss. With the Cultists up next, I switch back to the Beetle armor as we'll be moving around too much to actually make use of sentries. Then, without further ado, we go absolutely ham on this dude, who, while still being fairly easy, is one of the more fun bosses I think.
Do your thing, buddy, old pal.
It still retains that fast-paced and fun feel of the vanilla fights, but adds on to the difficulty and just makes it so much better.
Oh no, this thing, diagonal downwards. What? Okay, we're good. I thought I'd have to go up there and manually do the thing, but I don't. Okay, I need to hold off for a second. You're dying way too quickly. And then diagonal downwards, and then Rod of Discord out the way.
Yeah, it's needless to say, this is an uneventful fight at best, but it was still very fun nonetheless.
You're dead. Okay, easy. Second attempt.
Now we are officially in the final stretch of hard mode, with just 2 more bosses to face off against before we enter the final act of this playthrough. Once again, following the quote, all balls no brain, we dive headfirst into the very next boss with no preparations at all. Astrum Deus.
Not a good weapon for Deus. I need to get something different. Actually, this is decent, I'll give it that. Flying Dragon's alright.
Astrum Deus is a great boss. It's kind of easy, but I like it. His first phase is literally mindless, but once he splits, that's when the real fight begins. These spaghetti noodles will ram you with any opportunity they get, while illuminating the night sky with their billions of projectiles. It's such a beautiful fight.
Shake, oh, you got real close. I wasn't looking. Impending Doom approaches? We can do Moonlord.
Can we do Moonlord? No, we can't.
Well, I guess we have to no-hit the cultist again just so we can get these stupid pillars.
One lunatic cultist no-hit later, it only took a few attempts luckily, and boom, we can go ahead and do the pillars.
I don't hit the 5 would I trash my whole hotbar? Alright, bet. Yeah, I knew you was gonna do it, I didn't think you'd actually do that. Well, I was joking, I'm not gonna. Nah, I'm joking. Of course, I'm gonna delete my entire hotbar. You fulfilled your end of the deal, and now I shall painfully fulfill mine. There goes one. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
One stupid dare later, and we were fighting the Nebula pillar with a Terrorblade. I don't know what was going on in this stream, but we move. We got taken out, but the pillar also got taken out, so all's well that ends well. We move on to the Vortex pillar next, as there is a really good weapon you can get with Vortex fragments that works perfectly on Astrum Deus. 100 deaths later, and 101 deaths later, we take out the Vortex pillar. We take our Vortex fragments and upgrade our Storm Saber and Windblade into the Storm Ruler.
We have weapon.
Now it's time to shred Deus. Essentially, what makes this weapon so good against Deus is that the projectiles summon tornadoes which will stay in place as all of the worm segments will pass through it, dealing a shig ton of damage.
Eyes never clumped up. I was looking at chat again.
After running out of Titan Hearts, we did some off-camera grinding and then we get back to the fight.
It'd be great if it wasn't completely pouring it down. That one's almost dead.
The fight was going smoothly, we were gradually making progress and getting better and better with each attempt.
Well, back up, buddy pal.
We take out one of the worms and move on to the final phase of the fight where the other worm will become seriously pissed off.
No! So in the back, why did I die? What killed me?
Yeah, looking back at the footage, I was wondering too, but if you look really closely, you can see one of the projectiles hit me at point blank range.
I don't need adrenaline. Who needs adrenaline? Whoa, hello. Oh, okay, and free fight, we win. You gotta chill, no, you gotta chill. 1 minute 30? Yes.
Now with Astrum Deus defeated, it was time for us to make our final preparations for the Moonlord, where I wanted to try an armor set we've never really used before, and it's probably not the one you're thinking of either. Anyways, we mine up the Astral Meteor, dying like 10 times in a row trying to pick up all the ores, then we have to once again mine up a ton of Chlorophyte, then we mine up a ton of our house.
Oh, no, I didn't mind my house.
Get Yardis to join our stream.
Is that the real Fardis? No way! What's up? Okay, Fox, my stream is open and ready to receive. Pause. Oh no. Oh no. 25. Oh my days. 112? What is going on?
Now that all of Yardis' children were here, I had to absolutely lock in and make sure I take down the Moonlord this stream. I can't leave a bad impression on them. Gotta introduce these guys to the Shig, am I right? Anyways, after like 50 deaths, we take down the Stardust Pillar. Then after another 69 deaths, the Solar Pillar follows suit and we try the Moonlord once more. I'll spare you the details. Anyways, for the armor set we wanted, we had to take down the Martian Invasion, but we couldn't summon them with 1 max HP, so I had to go back into Heroes mode, give myself more HP, summon them in, put myself back down to 1 HP, and then yeah, it's a whole process. I did actually find a mod that circumvents this issue, but I'd already beaten the game, so what use is it now? Although actually though, if you've been watching my streams, you'll know what we're doing with that mod. Anyways, the aliens go away, we put ourselves back down to 1 HP, and we buy the night vision helmet from the Cyborg. Then with that, a couple other things, and some Astral and Chlorophyte bars, we make ourselves the Lunic Corpse armor. Quite possibly the most unique ranged armor set in Calamity, giving you a shield just like the Rover Drive and the Sponge, increasing jump speed and also increasing the damage of guns and specialist range weapons specifically. It is such a cool armor set. Still doesn't make up for our lack of skill, but that's fine, we'll get there in the end. This time, instead of using whatever I could find in magic storage, I make the Spectral Storm Cannon, a tried and true weapon I've used many times against the Moonlord. It is so good. And I didn't realize at the time, but I was using the Fire Gauntlet and Celestial Shell. Bro, what is this guy doing? We were still doing pretty good damage though, but it wasn't as much as it could have been.
Okay, I'm making Astral armor.
As if that's gonna fix the problem, bro. Either way, I threw together some Meteorite and Astral bars, made the Astral armor, which is an all-class set, which are usually somewhat underwhelming, but this one just so happens to be the most OP armor set at this point. I once again re-enter the Moonlord fight, feeling a lot more confident, but still haven't changed my accessories. In terms of the actual fight though, we were doing just fine. Our Fishron wings gave us a ton of mobility to outmaneuver the Death Laser, and as long as you lock in, the other attacks aren't incredibly hard to dodge either.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm dead. Keep me oh, I didn't know. I I didn't know. I was wondering why I was doing no damage.
Yeah, don't even ask how it took that long to realize. Anyways, I replaced the fire gauntlet with the sand shark tooth necklace and the celestial shell of the recon scope for maximum damage output. Then we lock in on the Moon Lord. The first phase of this fight, as some people might call it, is fairly easy. Just keep moving, do not stop moving, make sure you're always moving vertically as well, always dodge the death beam and you should be fine. Then once you take out the two hands and his eyes, you will die. But if you don't die, you'll enter Moonlord's final phase, where all three true eyes of Cthulhu show themselves, his hands and eyes still shoot projectiles because that's what they do in Calamity, and the fight just becomes incredibly chaotic. But as long as you don't make any stupid dumb mistakes, potential foreshadowing, you'll be just fine.
The one gal to watch is... There's always a couple. Seriously though, the YouTube analytics. And we did it. Come on, 2 minutes. Yes! that was the fruitiest yes. Oh, we did it, okay.
With the Moon Lord now defeated, we move on to the final chapter of this playthrough. The final stretch, as one would say. And to kick things off, we immediately go all balls no brain and head directly into the first boss, Bumbleshake. Except it's Dragon Folly now, but who cares?
Imagine we first try this.
I mean, I already know the answer considering this is editing me, and I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say there's a pretty good chance.
Oh, sure. Whoa, that was close. That nearly got me.
Okay, no, right, look, because I went through Bumbleshake right here and somehow didn't take damage. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that was close. Now you're fast. Farts.
Yep, maybe, no, definitely, we need some post-Moonlord upgrades. So I just did the post-Moonlord essentials, you know, make a solar pickaxe, vein mine the huge Luminite meatball, craft a fresh set of Vortex armor, throw on the community, and yes, I'm not using the Magiluminescence because I hadn't converted to the Magiluminescence religion yet. Upgrade our fuel cell bundle into the tactical plague engine, then we throw ourselves right back into the fight using the SDMG we got from Moonlord's treasure bag. Okay, maybe third time's the charm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Our new loadout was doing significantly more damage than our previous one. It's just truly insane the power of upgrades, am I right? But I guess that's just something past me wouldn't know.
When I'm getting to me, shred you with stealth, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Stay back, stay back. Oh, you do things. Hello? Dragon farts, Bumbleshig. Oh, that was close. Caught me off guard and dashed at the wrong time. Are we done yet? Can you just die? It's getting rather tiresome. Bunnies, and you're... dead, right? Yeah, 1 minute 19, okay, two attempts. No, 3 attempts, I think I died.
First post-Moonlord boss taken down and we are hyped. Yes, I know it's Dragon Folly, but come on, just let us have our small win, okay? Anyways, Bumbleshig drops the Golden Eagle, a great ranged weapon, and the Dynamo Stem Cells, a great ranged accessory, which is perfect for us because we're playing ranged. Also, I just realized we didn't even upgrade our Fishron wings, but that doesn't matter too much. Anyways, the next boss up on the agenda were the Chicken Balls, so I farmed some unholy essences, crafted their summon, and began our ultimate battle against the Profane Guardians.
Box! What's up?
Yeah bro, now the box is here, there is no way I'm failing this a second time. Serious mode engaged.
And you're deaded. Whoa, back off there, you shig.
The Guardians are a pretty easy boss anyway, so if I do fail a second time, I'll just delete my channel.
Hey, whoa, stay back. I don't want to die. Uh-oh. Here we go. Now he's mad. Oh, I don't know what to do for this. Melt him. I'm running out of flight time. Oh, this phase. Oh, yeah, I'm screwed. Just rod. Whoa, hey there, buddy. Okay, we're golden. We're golden Freddy.
The Guardians were low on health. We were low on health. We're always low on health. Will we be able to pull this off?
Come on. Yippee. First. Wait, what's the minimum Nohit length? I'm dead.
Yeah, now we've got the two most uneventful bosses out of the way, let's go take on a real challenge. And no, I'm not doing Nighttime Providence.
Easy fight, let's go. Yeah, right, so, oh, I didn't take damage, okay, it's not disqualified, let's go. I've made poopy on the ground. This is probably the phase that might kill me a couple times if I'm not absolutely prepared. But I think we'll do just fine, you know. It's nothing compared to Infernum, is it? Laser? Oh, okay. Sure. Boy, am I gonna struggle at Infernum when I no-hit that.
So far, so shig. Providence was fairly easy. We were having absolutely no problems with her.
What even shiggin hit me? I think I'm gonna get some new weapons.
Yeah, the Golden Eagle is pretty good, but I don't think it holds a candle to the other weapons you can craft at this point. The weapon on my Christmas list right now being the Onyx Chain Blaster, an upgrade to the Onyx Blaster, of course, and the Chain Gun.
Yes, I got the chain gun! Give me the chain gun! Okay, alright. We're done.
This weapon is literally pure awesomeness. I love it, but unfortunately it is barely better than the Golden Eagle, and in most cases was dealing roughly the same amount of DPS. That's not to say we didn't get pretty far into the fight though, but one stupid mistake ended that. Christmas came and went with me being royally disappointed, but luckily my birthday's in February, so all hope isn't lost yet. I put the Decimator right at the top of my list and drew about 20 circles around it. If this thing can't out DPS the Onyx Chain Blaster and Golden Eagle, then I don't know what can. And boy, let me tell you, this thing was hitting different. You don't even need to stay close to the boss like the Onyx Chain Blaster. But now, like always though, we've upgraded our weapons, we've upgraded our gear, we just need to upgrade our skill. Oh yeah, almost forgot to mention, we made the Elemental Axe too.
Oh no! You're gone. Axe and... Do you... Oh no! Occur after this. And let's go Pinocchio. GG's. And that's Providence. 2 minutes 17, perfect.
Yeah, Providence has aura, but she's not too hard of a boss. At least not compared to the ones coming up.
Oh no, we got the Pristine Fury.
However, for now though, we've only got clear skies ahead as the next bosses up are the Sentinels. The first of which I wanted to challenge being the Stormweaver.
Worst set bonus, you will go first, True Might. Yeah, True Might is so useless. So now I'll tell you the strat for this. You basically essentially want to always be on the outside of his circle and circle his tail as closely as possible, while always staying on the outside of him.
There's past me giving out the ultimate strats for Stormweaver. Anyways, we've just hit the second phase, which I really don't know what kind of direction they were going for with this boss, but it's whatever, it's an easy fight.
And for this, you just kind of want to jump up when he does that, and then same thing again, just go upwards and then juke him. Oh, I didn't think he was going to come that close. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Screw it, I cheese it. No!
Okay, nah, for a second attempt that was pretty insane, but honestly the Decimator just isn't gonna cut it anymore. Funnily enough though, Providence did drop the Pristine Fury, so I gave that a try.
That is some damage.
Turns out the post-Providence weapon is actually really good compared to the pre-Providence weapon.
Oh my, wait, this is shredding him? What? Okay, I didn't think it'd be that good. I mean, you guys haven't seen the Wave Pounder Stealth Strike, if you've seen my stealth videos.
With a few more attempts and a few more deaths, I found that the Decimator was the best and most consistent against the first phase, while the Pristine Fury absolutely shredded the second phase.
What?
Feeling kind of salty on Stormweaver, I decided to try Cygnus to see if that was any easier. The Decimator with Holy Fire Bullets was looking to be a consistent enough option, but it just wasn't dealing the DPS we needed. Thus, I finally decided to mine some Eula Bloom and get some post-Providence upgrades.
Oh, there we go. Okay, we found some.
You know what, I actually didn't die as much as I expected to. I mean, the Thorns were pretty easily destroyed with my pickaxe. Anyways, now that we had our lifetime supply of Eula Bloom, I made the Freedom Star, a weapon I'd never used before, and the Nettlevine Greatbow.
Nettlevine Greatbow? Seems like a decent weapon. Oh no, a weapon I have to charge. I'm probably never going to use this then. Unless it's incredibly good. Oh, this is alright actually.
While the Freedom Star was very good and looked absolutely stunning, it just didn't have the same consistency and ease of use as the Pristine Fury, so I stuck with that.
No way, we just completely shredded him. You're telling me I can just... Wow, GG's. That counts, I guess.
Yeah, Stormweaver's pretty fun, but also pretty easy, and at times pretty frustrating. Anyways, let's move on to Cygnus. But first I'll be making a stack of Legion arrows to try with the Nettlevine Greatbow.
Holy, wait, this is... Chat, this thing is goated. Holy shit. I'm a dumbass.
I also gave the Freedom Star one more good test, as Cygnus is a single target while the Stormweaver is a thick-ass worm.
Freedom Star kinda sucks. No, never mind, this is alright. It's not terrible, I'll say that. I'd probably be better off with the Terratomia.
The Freedom Star does do insane damage when it's fully revved up, but it just can't maintain that consistently compared to other weapons.
Oh, I saw the thing.
So I swapped over to the Nettlevine Greatbow. And I also want to talk about the one glaring issue with this fight. You cannot see jack. The projectiles don't contrast with the background one bit, meaning they come out of seemingly butt nowhere, unlike Inferno when you can see them perfectly clear. This death, however, was entirely my fault.
Oh, I didn't know he was doing that.
After dying another 5 times, I decided to take some advice from one of my viewers, which was to craft the Fabled Spiker, an upgrade to the Needler, which also took like another 10 deaths because the Moss Hornets just didn't want to give it to me.
We got the Needler, okay.
Now with our new weapon in hand, we just have to get good at the boss, which is of course easier said than done, but the Needler was doing incredible DPS, and I was slowly getting better at reading the barely visible projectiles. Every single attempt, every single death is a step closer to our inevitable victory, and as long as you keep moving forward, you will eventually achieve what you set out to do.
They kind of go out and they reflect back at you, which is what I think catches me off guard. And easy.
Not particularly the most interesting boss, but a victory is a victory. Except, can you really call it a win when the next boss up is Ceaseless Void? I got to work building a teleporter setup for easy access to the library, died more than a few times along the way, then summoned in the boss.
I'll make an arena, I guess, if I die enough. Spiker probably isn't the best weapon for this either.
The library is a very big space on its own, but it comes with a lot of platforms and just random shit all over the place, so I clean it up.
Nope.
Also dying a few times along the way. I'm sure as you all know, the process of alchemy consists of understanding, deconstructing, and reconstructing matter. We were now on the reconstructing phase, and before we knew it, we had finished building an actual arena. I'm so proud of you past me. Anyways, yeah, Ceaseless Void. The phases where it's on its own are actually pretty fun, albeit slightly awkward. But when the dark energies come out to play, man, you are in for one hell of a ride. It would be manageable if Ceaseless Void himself stayed in one spot, but he likes to move along with you, which in turn moves the dark energies and just creates this awkward, cluttered, chaotic mess of a boss. I'm not even kidding when I say this boss made me nearly give up on my original no-hit run. Anyways, if we wanted to get through this boss without a scratch, we were going to have to completely shred it, so I made some new weapons. The first of which being the Angelic Shotgun.
It's pretty good.
A relatively normal shotgun that summons a holy beam of light from the sky. It does decent enough damage on the Ceaseless Void, but not as much as we were looking for. Next up, I brought out our old friendly Disseminator with some Luminite bullets. However, it was just outclassed by all the newer weapons. Not to say it didn't pack a decent punch for a pre-Providence weapon though. I did a lot of experimenting with different weapons, loadouts, but I just wasn't skilled enough at the boss to make use of any of these. So I looked at some other people's no-hits to gather inspiration, specifically Shrimp Top Ramen's video with every class. I was looking to pivot towards Summoner as it's easy to use and does an absolute ton of damage at this point in progression, so I spent a short while farming all the Summoner accessories, you know the drill.
We got it.
And then crafted the Virid Vanguard, the weapon he used in the video. This weapon caught my eyes. It was something I'd never used before and was so unassuming on the surface, requiring only Eulabloom bars to make. However, not only does this thing look bloody awesome, I would also soon find out that it is stupidly good against Ceaseless Void.
Oh my, the TPS.
So now we have a pretty sick loadout. All that's left to do is just get good at the game. I did some off-camera grinding for the Kaleidoscope for even more damage.
Come on, go upwards please, move up. I'm not going to use Adrenaline because I think we're killing it way too quickly. Damn, see, this is... Stop moving everywhere, please. Stop it.
I was more than beginning to remember why I hated this boss last year. So I did something that, not gonna lie, I should have done hours ago, which is to end the stream, go to sleep and try again tomorrow. The secret tech that Chapsticks just does not know. So that night, filled with determination to completely destroy this boss, I went to sleep. I woke up the following day, did the things I did, and not really sure what I did, I don't remember, and then began streaming. The words, "Today will be the day," kept echoing in my mind. The day that we completely shake Ceaseless Void. So yeah, let's get this party started. Now, the first phase of this fight is always very easy. Ceaseless Void doesn't move around much, and there's a specific pattern with the dark energies which if you dodge them in a certain way, you will never get hit. And with the absurd damage from our weapons, we can take out all the dark energies pretty quickly. However, this is just the beginning.
Oh, what am I doing? Okay, we're safe.
Ceaseless Void summons those boys back in 3 different times, with more of them the lower health he's at.
Don't need Adrenaline, we fine. Maybe I need Adrenaline. I don't know. I need Adrenaline. Oh, I'm shredding him. I'm shredding him way too fast. Okay, I gotta chill.
I'll be so real, the only reason this fight is so hard is because Ceaseless Void moves around a ton.
Why do you move like that?
If you have a keen eye, you probably noticed me using the Sanctified Spark Sentry. I switched over to the Lunar Portal Staff and found that holy shit, this thing deals a ton of damage.
Yes, okay, lock in. Just pray that I haven't done him too quickly. If it's above 1 minute 15 seconds, then we're golden.
The clock is literally ticking. If I've done this fight too quickly, I'll have to redo it all over again due to the minimum no-hit lengths.
That boss is not just this bullshit. Yes! Okay. The Shig has done it.
Finally, yes, finally, we had broken free from the curse of the Ceaseless Void, and we can now move on to the easiest boss in the game, Poltergeist. I could have made some upgrades beforehand, but Ceaseless Void drops literally nothing for us. But who cares about the treasure bag? Our real reward here is Poltergeist. He is such an easy boss. So much so that there have been times in the past where I just said, screw it, I'm doing Poltergeist instead of Providence. Also, Poltergeist has one of the best boss themes in the entire game, so there's that to enjoy. But yeah, anyways, this dude's first phase is really easy, so let's move on to the second, where his twin brother Goltapast comes in to say hi and fights alongside him.
Back off, buddy. You're a bit fast there. I don't want to die.
I'll admit, the fight does get pretty intense here. The two of them together are fast, but nothing compared to what I've been through before, and you can just go in a circle and let them drift around you.
Okay, you're nearly poopied on, Poltergeist. You're nearly there, just a little bit lower. Well, okay, he's trying to catch me off guard there. Whoa, you're a fast one now. Oh, that was close. Yep, and yeah, you're done. You're done. 3 attempts, easy.
While short-lived, we had our fun with Poltergeist, and it was now time to get serious again. As next up would be the Old Duke, and then the Devourer of Gods, the boss that I gave up on last year. Anyways, now that Poltergeist is gone, we can go and fight some mini-bosses in the Abyss for some actually good loot.
Okay, hello, mini-bosses, where are you?
Specifically the Reaper Shark for Reaper Teeth and the Bobbit Worm for the Bobbit Hook, which were both fairly easy to locate and take down, even with only 1 HP. Now, the reason we needed Reaper Teeth was to craft the Omega Blue armor, quite possibly the most badass looking armor set I've ever seen in a video game, and also the best we can get until we take down Yaren. With this new armor set, we weren't going to be able to go pure summoner anymore, so I was going to need a weapon. The one I crafted being the Pearl God, the final upgrade to the Thermocline Blaster we used back in early hard mode.
Let's do this. We got this.
The Old Duke, possibly the most forgotten boss in this mod with ironically the most banger soundtrack of them all. He is, hence the name and design, quite similar to Duke Fishron, but much more slow, calculated and cunning with his movements. However, Uncane in his prime anymore, he gets tired after a few dashes.
Where's started?
Seeing as how well building an arena went with Ceaseless Void, I decided to try it again. The Pearl God was doing fairly decent damage to Old Duke, but I am a dumbass and I cannot aim.
Stop pooping on me.
Well, it's harder to focus on dodging when you're focusing on aiming as well. So I took out my trusty stack of glorified bullets and said, try and dodge this one, Professor Genius. Dumbass Homera Bimpson looking dude ain't got nothing on these pre-Moon Lord bullets.
You're gonna do 3, right? And then, yep. And then you do that, and then I think it's either another 2 or another 3.
I was feeling pretty amazing after finally beating Ceaseless Void and Poltergeist, and I'd already learned most of the tricks Old Duke had up his sleeve last year, so I had nothing to worry about.
You do that, okay. Oh no, I forgot you were fast.
It's just a matter of time and attempts now until we beat this boss and move forth into uncharted territory.
Oh, that was close. Oh my... What? I dashed inside of him. Yes. Oh, no! You shake!
You shake! Shake! Boom!
No! Okay. Get shaked on, easy.
With Old Duke already defeated, absolutely nothing can stop us now. We'll charge boldly into Devourer of Gods and take him down in absolutely no time. Our only upgrade being the pretty cool looking gun that Old Duke dropped for us. Anyways, here goes nothing. The boss that took me over 200 attempts last year that made me give up on my original no-hit run. But this time, things will turn out differently. I wholeheartedly believe that we are going to absolutely shred this dude.
I'm a dumbass.
I'd like to think I've grown a lot in the past year. In fact, my channel is only 5 months- oh, wait, my channel is 5 months old already? It feels like just yesterday I uploaded that awful quality video. But I mean, we've all got to start somewhere, right? If I can start from all the way down there and climb all the way up here, then you can do the same thing too. Believe in yourself, bro. Anyways, we were somehow almost at the second phase already. Pretty incredible progress for such few attempts.
Okay, here we go. Okay, second phase. Let's pray that we can actually do this. I need to make sure his balls don't hit me. Does Midoriya wrap his balls like a genie lamp?
So far, so good.
Whoa, back up, buddy.
In his second phase, Dog will become much faster and more agile, but I've grown accustomed to it over all the playthroughs I've done this past year.
Uh-oh, I didn't prepare. I didn't prepare. Oh, I did it. Holy shit. Yes.
No, I don't care how many times we fail, how many times we fall short against this boss, I will keep getting back up and moving forward and trying again. This is nothing.
Okay. Whoa, okay. You're fast.
I looked at the length of that fight and realized if we were going to destroy this boss, we were going to have to do it the good old-fashioned way, using the Terror Blade and the Soul Edge, or the Void Edge as the new gens call it now. Can you really say you've played this game if you haven't used this combo against Devourer of Gods? Because I don't know, man, this to me is like butter on toast, like steak and chips. Like having nothing on pizza, because I don't like the toppings on mine, I just like the cheese. But pepperoni's alright though. Anyways, I'm sure you catch my drift. The Terror Blade absolutely shreds the Devourer of Gods with its piercing projectiles, while the Soul Edge is a lower risk, lower damage, but very solid homing option.
There's no way. I'm too cracked. I'm too cracked. Why do you come so close to me? Then it's this. No! Easy, see? This boss is so easy.
Wait, already? No way. We didn't just do this already. That was like 10 attempts?
Anyways, 2 minutes. Ah. Well, we've got to retry. Sorry, guys.
As I said earlier, no matter what happens, no matter how many times we fail, no matter how many times we fall short, we are going to keep moving forward until we beat this shigging boss.
That's easy. That's easy. Okay.
One thing's for sure though, we are gonna have to slow down on damage since that first fight went way too quick. My main strategy here was to use the Terror Blade to blitz through the easier first phase, then switch to the less damaging Void Edge for the second phase, but I think our first trial luck had finally faded. If I don't take out Devourer of Gods today, I'll just go to sleep and take him out tomorrow. And if I don't take him out tomorrow, I will do him the next day, then the next day, and the very next day after that, and the next week, month, year. I will spend the rest of my life fighting this boss if it needs to be done. Anyways, I decided to change things up slightly in the second phase, switching from the Soul Edge to the Terror Blade and not using Adrenaline.
Oh, you were there. Again already, wow. Well, we did it. That's it. We did it. If that ain't above 2 minutes 10 seconds, yeah, it's an easy fight.
We'd finally gotten through the big wall and overcame our old enemy. Just 3 more bosses left, however, these 3 will be the hardest we've faced yet. First things first, we open up our 2 Devourer of Gods treasure bags, and by pure luck, obtain the best possible weapon we could have gotten.
Oh no way, I got the Eradicator, let's go.
If you've seen my Underwater series, you will know exactly how much this thing carried us through Yaren.
This is going to be my weapon of choice against Yaren, I think, unless I can think of anything else. Okay, Staff of the Worm Mech.
So, with very minimal preparation and only 6 accessories equipped, we begin the fight.
Holy, I forgot how orange you are.
Yaren is a boss that I'm very confident with. I've fought him hundreds of times in other playthroughs and have pretty much memorized his entire first phase. For example, his first sub-phase where he performs 2 shorter dashes, followed by 1 longer one, and then his circle of fireballs, which you can dodge fairly easily by going all the way to one side and then slowly going back through them. Anyways, his first sub-phase is fairly short-lived and he moves on to his second one.
Where you at? Oh, okay, so that's the easier one then, the less dense version.
No. This is when I realised I'd left an entire accessory slot open, so instead of upgrading any of my previous ones or making any new accessories, I just threw in the Sand Shark Tooth necklace. Anyways, that first attempt wasn't bad in the slightest, although the Eradicator is definitely carrying us. Once again, we make it to the second sub-phase, which I've always found easier than the first one.
Yaren's second phase is pretty hard. Oh, hello, there's the things. Yes, damage. No! Uh-oh.
Okay, maybe this final trio is easier than I thought they would be. Making it this far in such few attempts is no easy feat, but I do know Yaren's patterns pretty well though.
I touched it, okay. How about if I fight you over here then?
I made the decision to fight Yaren in the Sulphurous Sea as we already had the arena we built for Old Duke, and I think over here the projectiles contrast better with the background.
Adrenaline, let's go. Holy get shigs.
I don't know what it was, man, but this stream, this session, we just could not be stopped.
Second phase? Yeah.
Yaren begins his second phase, which I'm not nearly as good at as the first, but all balls, no brain. For some reason though, he just kept on repeating his easiest attack.
Again? Really? You're on that phase already?
We'd already got Yaren to his second to last phase where he begins teleporting just like Duke Fishron and spamming those bullet hells. All the while, I haven't received even a scratch from Yaren, let alone any of the other bosses we've fought so far.
My screams echo out through the fire, and your rival's destined in...
The final sub-phase. To get this far in such few attempts is just truly insane. But will we be able to pull through and claim victory, or will this just be yet another choke?
And one day you...
Well, past me was singing Roar of the Jungle Dragon, so I guess that says it all.
Master... Oh shit! Oh, that was close. Yo!
Dude, 7 attempts to no-hit Yaren. It's been like an entire month and I'm still surprised. Anyways, the smoke clears, the dust settles, and we pick up our loot, giving us the best wings in the game, a bunch of weapons we're never going to use, and most importantly, Yaren's soul fragments. With these bad boys, we can finally make Auric tier gear and Auric Tesla armor. And yeah, we do have to upgrade our gear this time.
This is why it's called the Nono square, because here is the square and here is the Nono.
It was time for our obligatory Auric mining session, which we do every single playthrough. And surprisingly, I didn't die as much as you'd think, considering I only have 1 HP. Eventually, we got enough Auric ore for everything we needed, but that's when I remembered we still hadn't done the moon events. And that's when I also remembered we only have 1 HP.
Oh, I just remembered how awful this is going to be, considering I've only got 1 health. To be honest, this weapon can... Never mind, I take that back. This weapon can handle it, though. This weapon's insane. Like, look at this. It just shreds everything in its path. Never mind, it doesn't.
About 15 deaths later, we make it to wave 16. Then roughly another 5 and we've reached wave 20, getting us enough nightmare fuel to last a lifetime. We repeat the same thing for the frost moon and then the solar eclipse, and finally, yes finally, we can get to crafting. First things first, of course, I make a metric shit ton of Ascendant Spirit Essences, and craft all our Auric ore into bars. Then we make the all-powerful, almighty Tyranny's End. This thing is tracking disc levels of good. Now in terms of armor, the Omega Blue just isn't gonna cut it anymore, so we make all the post-Moon Lord armor sets, and combine the 3 of them into the ultimate dripped out suit of armor. Finally, for our accessories now, since we're switching back to Ranger, I upgrade my Deadshot Brooch into the Elemental Quiver, make the Dimensional Soul Artifact, which multiplies our damage by 1.2 but also increases our damage taken, which in a run like this is just free damage. We upgrade our Elysian Aegis into the Asgardian Aegis, replace our Destroyer emblem with the Recon Scope, throw on the Community, and I think we're ready to go now. Anyways, this is post-editing me, I'm gonna go make a cup of tea, I'll be right back. Okay, got my cup of tea now. Lovely. Anyways, I changed my mind on the Recon Scope. I actually replaced that with the Dark Sun Ring for the minion slots, and I went to the Underworld to get the Lesbians of Finality. Before moving on to our penultimate challenge, I take one more peaceful moment to just observe the beautiful Terraria skies and background. If you know me well, you'll know exactly which of the two final bosses we're going to take on first. The Exomechs scare me almost as much as women do. So we're going to be diving headfirst into Escal. Also, I don't think a single Exo tier weapon can out DPS the Tyranny's End, so yeah, there's that too. I'm not gonna lie, the weight of this challenge is really starting to set in now. The first bullet hell is always easy, but there's like another 4 of them yet to come. Now, since this is the first attempt, I didn't really have a specific strategy, but I knew to use the chicken cannon on the brimstone hearts. My movement was all over the place, but soon enough we took him out and began the actual fight, where the Tyranny's End just completely wipes out her first sub-phase. I told you bro, this thing can out DPS any Exo tier weapon.
That was a close one. I wasn't looking.
First death, but there are many more of them yet to come. Just like the first bullet hell, the second one is fairly easy too, with just a couple small brimstone blasts. We get through that fairly easily and begin Escal's second subphase, where she'll dash at us and then shoot out brimstone giga blasts. Our DPS with the Tyranny's End is just incredible though, and we get to the third bullet hell already.
Oh, that was close.
This is where it gets kind of hard too. Escal will shoot out the small hell blasts and the giga blasts at the same time.
Alright, brother's phase, the worst phase in the fight. My only hope is to go up vertically very slowly and just pray. Or I could have saved adrenaline for this, to be fair. No way, I actually did it? That's insane. Wow. Go, shig him, yes!
Brother's phase done on the second attempt? Well, I mean, it's just a first attempt of luck, you know, surely that'll run out soon.
Chat, I'm not even joking, we might beat Escal this attempt.
We get through this part fairly easily and begin Escal's second phase, which is not for the faint of heart.
The big nut in the middle. No!
Yeah, things aren't ever gonna be that easy. We had our work cut out for us. Who knows if this will take 10 attempts, 20, 100, even the thousands maybe. I'm never gonna give up. I've come too far to throw in the towel on the final 2 bosses. If we don't succeed here, then what was the point of the last 42 bosses we know here? We'll find a way. We already have 42 times, so what's another 2 to add to that counter? Slowly but surely, as the attempts racked up, I was beginning to form some semblance of a strategy against this boss. For the first Brimstone Hearts phase, I'd fly straight up to one of the corners and then slowly move to the other, taking out all the Brimstone Hearts in one fell swoop. Then for her horizontal blast phase, I'd rush to the bottom of the arena and slowly ascend to the top, dodging all of her projectiles. Escal, like many other bosses in this mod, works based on cycles, where as soon as she gets out the second bullet hell, she will immediately start dashing at you, occasionally throwing a Brimstone Giga Blast. Then she'll throw another 2 Giga Blasts, and then you have to slowly ascend upwards to dodge the horizontal blasts again. Sounds very convoluted when I say it, but the more attempts you put in, the more subconscious it becomes.
Alright, this is the part I've really got to focus on, so...
Now for the brothers phase, which at first can be dodged by just slowly going upwards. I always take out the red dude first as I find that he's the hardest. Once you do, the blue guy will go sicko mode, but as long as you make sure you're always moving vertically, then 99% of the time his slashes will never hit you.
Oh, okay, sweet, okay.
The further I get into the fight though, the less I'm working on muscle memory, as I'm not as good at these later portions. And on the luckier attempts like this, I usually get dragged down to earth fairly quickly.
Sad.
But with adequate time and effort, the connections will slowly form in your brain. You will realize things you've never realized before.
You're in a good spot. You're in a good spot. Yes, let's go.
With each and every attempt, I was learning something new each time. Whether it be a microscopic piece of information, perhaps how to dodge the brothers better, perhaps how to navigate the bullet hells better, it was something. and those tiny microscopic pieces would add up as the attempts racked up into the hundreds. I had my strategy now, all I had to do was perfect it. The first 30 seconds of the fight were entirely ingrained into my muscle memory. Fly to one corner, fly over to the other, slowly descend down, then slowly ascend upwards, making sure to dodge the Giga Blast that spawns inside the center sometimes. My movements were robotic almost, but I guess they'd have to be to defeat a boss that relies solely on AI and cycles. Even the bullet hells, which are seemingly random, actually aren't. The third one specifically starts from the top, so you want to make sure you're at the bottom of the arena to dodge all the projectiles. Then slowly fly upwards and go in a circle for the rest of them.
Oh, what? Did I dodge that? Really?
Eventually, I even got to the final bullet hell, the final test of skill, but I just wasn't good enough.
Skill issue.
The only way forward is to become better, more efficient, more perceptive, more skilled. All detriment in this world stems from a lack of individual ability, so you can either give up entirely, or strive to become the best possible version of yourself. If you want to curse something, curse your own weakness.
Good. Skill issue. Imagine if it's below minimum, right? Like, easy. GG's.
But I'm not done yet.
Screw it.
We celebrated our win, obviously, and then prepared for the final challenge. The Robo-Man himself, Drayden. But to call him on FaceTime, we needed to upgrade our PC and decrypt a bunch of schematics. Nothing too interesting, it was just waiting simulator pretty much, but while we were waiting, I exhumed the community into the Shattered community. Soon enough, we'd installed our RTX Auric graphics card so we could finally render Drayden's cheeks in real time.
Woohoo, we have thing. I guess we do Ares first, you know. Alright, now what could go wrong?
The beginning of the fight is easy as always. Ares' attacks are very readable, and before long we move on to the second phase with the twins and Thanatos.
Go up and then you go down and it's easy, it's pretty easy.
One thing to note is that while the Tyranny's End was dealing phenomenal damage, the Shattered community was enhancing that even further. We were gonna have to be careful to not take these guys out too quickly. Anyways, now we are in the Chaos phase, or whatever people call it, where you can win by literally moving horizontally.
Oh, you did that.
What I like about this phase is that you can choose any of the 3 exomechs to take on first, meaning that you could focus the one you're most confident with, or the one you're the least confident with to get some practice on it. It's cool, I like it.
You just go into your...
Once the Chaos phase is over though is when the real fight begins. Everything before that was just baby mode. Each mech will go absolutely sicko mode of their attacks, and Ares is no exception. Plus, they will also gain a special attack. Ares is one specifically I'm not exactly the best with, although that will have to change.
Holy, I'm goated. Hold on, wait.
By pure miracle, we take out Ares and begin the second phase of this fight. Whatever mech has the highest HP from the Chaos phase will come back to fight you on its own, and once it's low enough, the other 2 will come and join in on the fun as well.
I'll go for the twins next then. Oh, second phase, oh, scary.
Very scary indeed, but no, seriously, the twins were the mechs I were the worst at. I just couldn't comprehend or read their attacks, but once again, that'll have to change.
No.
Our outlook on this fight was hopeful, but this wasn't going to be easy either.
Boom! I got it down. Oh, it's a mess up.
This attempt, I decided to face off with the twins first, as I really needed to practice with them. I already knew that the main gist of how to dodge their attacks was to fly diagonally, but there were some intricacies with it that I just hadn't quite grasped yet.
Oh, this is hard.
There was certainly a trick to those 2, but I just hadn't quite found it. One thing I did realize from the get-go though is that you want to fly towards the green dude so that the barrage of lasers the orange one shoots can be easily dodged. This seemed to be working. Eventually I even got the 2 of them low enough that they would do their special attacks.
Go down, go down.
And to quote the no-hit document, as long as each mech does their special attack once, you're free to completely nuke them.
I've messed up here, no I'm fine. Well, that's both of your things, so eat the shig.
And that was the twins. Feels great finally taking out their final phase, but we have to learn every mech's final phase and complete them all in one fight, which is by no means an easy feat, but I'm up for the challenge.
What? Do thing. Oh, that was close. I didn't think it was... Okay. You're easy. Wait, you might not be. You just have to kind of go up and then diagonal, but kind of like not too quickly.
Slowly but surely, with every attempt, I was slowly gaining mastery over each mech.
Okay, slow down. No.
While I wasn't perfect yet, I was definitely on the road to it, ignoring every single speed limit.
And the easiest final phase event. What? No, what? What? Whoa, bro, what? You saw Thanatos there. You saw Thanatos, right? And then just Ares came immediately after. What was that?
Yep, somehow we completely wiped out Thanatos in under 5 seconds with adrenaline. Not particularly the badge of honor now when it comes to no hit, so I had to sweep that attempt under the rug. I was really starting to become consistent with the twins now, and slowly but surely, my hate for this boss was turning into appreciation.
Yes, easy.
But the other two mechs were still a looming threat over me.
I'm disappointed.
Ares' final phase was slowly becoming less scary to me as I found out that if you stay closer to him then it's easier. And Thanatos' final phase, while being an absolute bullet hell spam fest, isn't all that hard, with his special attack being somewhat inconsistent but still not that hard.
You're close to dying.
I had all the pieces now, I just had to put them together. On most attempts, I could take out the twins, sometimes even the second mech too.
Nope, not today. Yes.
Leaving the final mech as the only obstacle in my way now. The only thing stopping me now from completing this journey.
Fuck you. No, I'm not getting mad. I think I messed up a little bit, guys.
After so many attempts, you really do begin to have the entire fight ingrained into your muscle memory. Twins and Thanatos spawn in, slowly fly up and to the left. Orange guy charges, dash through Thanatos if he's high enough, and fly horizontally to dodge all of his lasers, then go back down when the chaos phase begins so you can restore your flight time. Fly perfectly horizontally while aiming for the twins, slowly change direction and begin flying up and to the right. Then sharply change directions and fly diagonally downwards to dodge the barrage of lasers and missiles. Quickly dash backwards to juke the missiles while always maintaining vertical movement to dodge any other projectiles. Look, I could waffle on about this all day, but you get the point.
Okay, that was close. Yes. Here we go.
Artemis, Apollo, and Ares have been well and truly bested and turned into a pile of exo scrap. Now Thanatos is the only mech that remains. And with how far we've come on this journey, do you really think he's going to stand a single chance?
And we've done it. That was easy. So easy. 2 minutes 34, above minimum no hit length. Easy. Easiest fight of my life. Anyways, nice FaceTiming you, Drayden. You can hang up that computer call now. Thank you. Explode into nuts and bolts. And we did it! We did it! We've done it!
All 44 bosses in the Calamity mod beaten in expert death mode without taking a single hit of damage. Our journey is finally complete. We've done what we've set out to do, but I'm not done yet. This right here is my objective tier list with every single Calamity boss, with the context of 1 HP and death mode of course. The tiers on this are pretty self-explanatory, so feel free to leave your thoughts on this in the comments. And now, I need to come clean. There's something I haven't told you Shigs yet. My SCal no-hit got disqualified. The reason being, I did completely melt the brothers, not gonna lie. I was only 1 second over the minimum no-hit length, and the worst sin of all, I did not show the community stats before starting the fight. Heavens forbid I have an extra 0.2% of damage. No hate to the guy who judged my no-hit of course, it's his decision and I can completely understand his reasoning. Now, do I care about a role in a server that I'm barely active in? No. Am I petty about it? Yes. I can say I beat Calamity with only 1 HP, but it feels like my entire journey's been tainted now. So I propose this. If this video gets 1000 likes, I will stream myself redoing the SCal no hit, and every other one that gets disqualified. Hopefully none of them. With that offer on the table, I bid you farewell. And while you're busy liking the video, I would genuinely really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. You'll get notified whenever I upload or stream if you're interested, and I get to see a cool number go up. Sounds like a win to me, and anyways, thank you so much for watching this long ass video, and an even heftier thank you to the channel members Aubrey, McMantis, Zoe, Fishfella, Ickle, Solfex, Gem, and Lixion. Okay, I'ma head out now. New video in a few weeks. See ya.